And I'd like to start, and Maliha, I'll give the microphone to you in just one second, but I was hoping we could start the press conference today with each of you sharing what are some of the kind of top line reflections, big takeaways that you have come out of this week with.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody, and good morning. And also a huge thank you to all of you for staying with us for these packed few days. I know everybody's been getting up to attend 7 a.m. Side events and going and partying, and I hear the partying happening outside my hotel room till very, very late at night. So I hope everybody's had a tiring but fulfilling and enjoyable and connecting and energizing time. I know I have. So a few of the highlights for me, and given this is the closing press conference, I can perhaps admit this. This is my first Women Deliver, and I was absolutely blown away as a new attendee about how much energy, how many complex and hard and energizing and connecting and solidarity creating conversations have been having. We've all been having in hundreds and hundreds of rooms with thousands of other participants across the 170 countries that are represented here at Women Deliver this time. It's been, as a new participant, I can say that it's been absolutely fabulous and stunning, and even though I helped to organize almost all of it emotively and the energy, I didn't know what to expect. And that's been amazing for me. A few of the other key takeaways for me is that, let me list them. One, there is still so much work to do. There's still so much work to do. There's so many issues that need to be addressed. There's so many crises and pressures and barriers that are still in the way of girls and women in all their diversity being able to attain their full potential. The only way we can achieve our goals and aims in all these areas is for all of us to come together, right? Collective action, our solidarity is the only ways that we are able to do this. And I hope that that Women Deliver was able to strengthen existing relationships, networks, whatever forms that we come together collectively immensely. But I hope it has also been able to, and I can give a few examples, create many more, or at least plant the seeds for so many others, right? So it's only when you get to know each other as a human being that you think about your common objectives and ways forward, and then you make those connections and make it happen into the future. So strengthening the existing networks and collectives, creating new ones, and planting the seeds of numerous uncounted future ones. I think Women Deliver, the conference was also a way of reminding us not only of the barriers, but also of all the achievements that have been made, right? I hope that everyone is walking away at the end of this afternoon with a sense of all the things that we collectively have been able to do, gives us a sense of hope and a sense of purpose going forward. I'm sure many of you have been covering all the sort of events and announcements and of the thousands of partners that are here, but let me highlight a few key ones that have come to my notice, and I'm sure you will be telling us of all the hundreds of others that were just too numerous for us to actually keep track of and to know, and we would welcome you sending us that feedback, because we'd like to collate it and come out with what are the sort of outcomes of a convening like this. But for instance, we are, Sumaya is here because we'll be announcing a new partnership with Open Society Foundation around the anti-rights, around countering the anti-rights movement. I know that there's been a campaign launched by 40 organizations to close the gender nutrition gap, and that's so important because this nutrition gap sets the foundations for girls and children going forward. There's been the launch of the Respect Women's website, which again is a platform to derive concrete action around preventing GBV. The WHO, UN Women, UNFPA, and UNDP have all jointly come together and launched this amazing initiative, which is fabulous. The Adolescent Girls Investment Plan has launched an accountability framework for adolescent girls, and all of you must have seen what a focus on adolescent girls there was from the start of the conference. Well, actually, before the start of the conference, the pre-conference on Girls Deliver, and a through thread throughout the conference of how vitally important it is for us to focus on adolescent girls at this point, and that we cannot fail this generation of adolescent girls. We absolutely must do everything we can to ensure that they have a thriving future. We've got UNFPA announced the Kigali call for action around girls and women's bodily autonomy, and the which is a non-negotiable for sexual reproductive health and rights. And that we will be announcing our new Emerging Leaders program, which Julia will give you much more about later. So this is just a very, very brief snapshot of things that have been happening. So thank you.
Thrilled to be part of one of the largest gatherings of diverse stakeholders, and we cannot ignore it was one of the largest gatherings of diverse stakeholders in recent memory, for me at least, post-COVID. And it brought together governments, it brought together parliamentarians, gender equality advocates, and feminist movements. What we also experienced was the growing influence of the anti-rights actors and their political allies at the highest levels. And that was a reality check. That was also something for us to be cognizant of and understand and deepen our solidarity work to counter that. So in response to that, to what we are all experiencing and witnessing outside in the world, and in response to the growing attacks on the fundamental freedoms of women, of gender diverse people, and LGBTIQ communities, we are proud to be partnering with a range of partners, but particularly with Women Deliver, who are key actors in the multi-stakeholder space to really support the growing number of advocates who are coming together to help disrupt the anti-rights forces in multi-stakeholder spaces. And we are pleased that, and we are inviting other donors and partners and philanthropic actors to join this effort and to grow the resources we are seeding with Women Deliver to really, really understand that these anti-rights forces are really anti-democratic forces. I think we just need to be very serious about the anti-rights forces and what they and understand their growing influence. And we're pleased to be partnering with Women Deliver on it. Thank you.
Many of the youth attendees, there are over 1,200 young people here at this conference under the age of 30, almost half of whom receive scholarships and support to be here from Women Deliver, as well as our partners. So thank you all for that. I don't have that data on hand, Maliha, but I can get it for you. Yeah. We do know for many of them, it was their first time at a global convening of this kind. And many of them are, well, all of them are advocates in their own communities already. So being here was not only an opportunity to partner and network and be exposed to these spaces, but also to really advance their own advocacy goals and share about the solutions that they've been leading on. So there are three key themes I want to touch on in terms of my takeaways in working with young people this week. And they actually align with the themes of the Youth Zone, which is our dedicated youth space here at the conference. The first is disruption. Young people are here to tell us that how we've been working is we're not moving fast enough. We're not working in ways that are equitable. We are not moving gender equality forward at the speed that they want to see. So they're here to disrupt and call for new ways of working. Second is decolonizing the space. We heard an amazing plenary yesterday around many of the issues around how the colonial enterprise is still informing the way we work in gender equality. And one that I want to call out that really impacts young people is tokenism. We often refer to young people as the youth representative, or let's be sure we have a youth voice on this panel. But that should not be why they're invited to the panel. They should be invited because they're leaders, they're experts, they're researchers, and they're advocates. And yes, they happen to be young. They happen to be of a certain age group. They should be included, but we really need to center them for the value that they bring, not based on their demographic group. And third is dreaming. We heard from young people this week about their dreams and visions for a gender equal world. We saw at the Youth Zone a festival of dreams, chalk wall. Every day was filled to the brim with their visions for the future. So for us as Women Deliver, we're really excited to be launching some new areas of work to support those dreams so that youth advocates can really be leading the way for gender equality.